Margaret Brennan, host of Face the Nation, joining us now on CBS 4 News and CBSDenver.com. Margaret, another school shooting today, this time in Texas. So many of them we report on. Do you expect any action on gun laws in Washington?
No, I don't. Certainly not before November and those all-important congressional races. What we can expect are more musings publicly, more symbolic mourning, and mention of the need to protect children. That is, of course, what the president said today. He ordered the flags lowered to half-staff at the White House and said that we do need to protect our youth more. Now, remember, it was just February when that Parkland school shooting happened that caused that political uprising of sorts among young people in particular across this country, calling for more gun control. And while the president at the time said he supported some of what was suggested, it wasn't backed up by any new legal restrictions, certainly no action from Congress. What we did see is something called the Stop School Violence Act that helped fund things like putting metal detectors in schools and funding more training.
We also want to get your thoughts on the upcoming meeting between President Trump, North Korea's Kim Jong-un. Assuming it happens, what would make it a success for the U.S. and what can we reasonably expect the North to offer at this point?
Well, at this point, the White House is considering it a success if the summit happens in the first place, because no one's really gotten this far at the leader level. But when it comes to the goal, if the goal is truly what the president has said, which is full denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula, this is not going to happen on June 12th. This is going to have to be some long, drawn-out diplomacy. We may see things like promises and pledges to take action, and that in and of itself would be significant. But as we've learned in the past with North Korea, you can say you're going to agree to something, but unless the Trump administration sees those concrete actions followed through on, they say they won't be providing the kind of financial reward like sanctions relief that the North Koreans are asking for.
Thanks so much. Who are you going to have on Face the Nation this Sunday?
Well, we've got a lot to talk about. We will be discussing not only that awful school shooting in Texas and what may be happening in the wake of it, perhaps at the state level, because as we talked about, little action at the federal level. We'll also be joined by Senator Mark Warner, a Democrat from Virginia, who is ranking minority member on the Senate Intelligence Committee that is looking into Russian interference in the 2016 election. He's got a lot to say about some of what the president says may be attempts to spy on his campaign by the FBI. Once again, we're back in that conversation that's a very uncomfortable one for law enforcement officials and a very controversial one as well.
Margaret, we'll look forward to it. Thanks for your time.